This recipe, it's kind of like a Chinese style pork with quote rice. To make the rice, I took a head of cauliflower and grated it up. It's lower in carbs and higher in nutrition, so that's going to serve as our rice. Over here I have some thinly sliced pork cutlets. We live in Brooklyn, so this is from a local pig farm in upstate New York. So it's very thin, that'll fry up quick. And to make the teriyaki sauce, it couldn't be simpler. I just made a mixture of soy sauce, maybe like 1/4 of a cup of soy sauce and 1/4 of a cup of maple syrup, which we got from a recent apple picking trip. It's also a local maple syrup. And you whisk it up. You can adjust it to your taste. The measurements aren't that important, but it tastes just like teriyaki sauce. And you know, the maple syrup has a lower glycemic index, so it's better to use than sugar, and it doesn't take that much to make it sweet. These are 2 of the cooking oils I'm going to use. I'm going to fry the cauliflower rice in that, and then later I'll fry the pork chops before I cut them up. So I'm going to use a mixture of grass-fed ghee, which is very healthy fat for you, as well as this coconut oil, which has those medium chain triglycerides that are all the rage these days. But the mixture together is really good. So the coconut oil has a high cooking temperature. It'll prevent the ghee from burning, and that'll give it a nice kind of buttery flavor. This is a basic ingredient in most Indian food, so it gives it a nice creamy taste. So we're gonna blend some Indian stuff with some Chinese stuff. Okay, the ghee and the coconut oil have melted. Now we're just frying up the cauliflower rice until it starts to burn and get a little brown. You just got to keep stirring it so it doesn't stick. It's grated up pretty thin, so it should cook pretty quick. Just add a little bit of salt to it. You can add more later if it needs it. And as soon as that's browned up, we'll transfer it to a bowl, and then we'll start doing the pork cutlets. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes. This is pretty much cooked. What I'm going to do to brown it up a little more and keep it warm while I have the cast iron griddle heating up for the pork chops, I'm going to put this in the broiler so that it'll brown a little bit on top. It's not necessary, but it'll give it a nice extra little bit of flavor. I'm going to put this in. The broiler should be coming on. Okay, now I'm just going to melt these oils, the ghee and the coconut oil together. And then we'll fry up these pork cutlets.
Intruder. Intruder.
Alright, these are frying up nicely now. It doesn't take very long. Alright, these are almost ready. I'll flip them one more time. They need maybe less than 5 minutes. I think the cauliflower is ready to come out. I'll leave it in for a few more minutes. You can see it's starting to brown a little bit on the top. It'll be nice and crispy. As soon as these are done, we'll chop them up and then dress them with the teriyaki sauce. Alright, we'll take the cauliflower out of the oven. Now you can see that's what I like to see. You don't have to brown it like that, but it will add a nice bit of crunch and more texture to the dish. The pork chops have come off. As always, anytime you lift meat, you want to let it rest for 5 to 10 minutes so when you cut it, the juices don't all run out. So as soon as this rests for a few more minutes, we'll chop it up on the cutting board. Alright, these have rested, as you can see. They're just a tiny bit pink. Depends on how paranoid you are about cooking your meat. I like to leave it a little bit, keeps them really tender. So I'm going to cube these up because it's easier for those children you hear in the background. They're more likely to eat it if it's cut into smaller pieces. Alright, we are almost done. These are chopped up. I'm just going to hit it with a little bit of sea salt. Now I'm going to take our teriyaki mixture of soy sauce and maple syrup and pour all of it in there. I'm just going to stir that up. smells good from here. You can add garlic and other spices if you want, depending on your taste. And now let's go over here to our cauliflower rice. Put some of that on. It kind of tastes like a mixture between rice and potatoes. So we got that. Make sure we get some of the pork with the sauce in. Just get an extra spoonful of sauce or two. Alright, let's give it a taste. It's good. And another note about the cooking, I always use stainless steel or cast iron. I would stay away from any of the non-stick things, so I exclusively use stainless steel and the cast iron. You can throw them in the oven, switch it back and forth from the stove. It's the best way to go.